What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me once again. This is a Roaming Prepper channel. I'm your host, Pete. Today, I want to go over a lesson. It happened in a city out in West Texas. Not the first time it's happened in Texas or in other places, but it's a good reminder of why we need to think of preparedness, not just for those big SHTFs, but for the day to day stuff that does happen, even when people are behaving and are well intentioned. I'll be right back, and we're going to talk a little bit about what it was that happened and why it's important for us to understand how this kind of stuff works. Welcome back and thank you for joining me. Before I go any further, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, I typically try to make my own premieres. Sometimes I don't get to do that. So if I miss my premiere and you can't ask me the question, then please feel free to leave it in the comments below that video. So, ladies and gentlemen, the question is, what exactly happened? So, we had a city in West Texas called Odessa that actually had a water main fail. And the reason I knew about it was because of the local veterans group that I'm part of. The guys live basically everywhere from El Paso to Dallas. It's like a bunch of idiots. We all work in West Texas, but the guys have family and friends and we travel. They're kind of like me. We're all over the place. In any case, one of them said, "Hey, the town is having water issues. I just drove past a water main break and it looked pretty bad." And this would be on a Thursday night. By Friday, we had gotten the text community public alert system on our phones. So kind of like an Amber Alert, but it had public alert. And it said, the water main is broken and the following municipalities uh, have been affected by this water main break. And as I watched things progress, those updates kept coming through. And it got to the point where the city was saying, "Look, you're on a boil water notice. You are on a uh, even if you're getting water, don't forget to make sure that you boil the water or you treat the water before you use it, because it will." Somebody's printing on my printer. Somebody could get infected. It could get sick. The city cannot guarantee that the quality of the water is safe to drink. Now, understand this was not any evil stuff. Texas, like most other states, we struggle with a very outdated infrastructure. And especially outside of, well, even inside Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, and Austin, a lot of the older parts of these cities have very old infrastructure, hasn't been maintained, or it could have been a construction accident. Wasn't anything nefarious. But it turned out by the end of it all, from Friday to Sunday, they were still issuing boil water notices. This has also happened in Pasadena, Texas, last year, if I recall, and a couple of other places. During the big Texas freeze, the power went out, and a lot of the water treatment plants also went out because they ran out of diesel with the generators. And so the generators that normally back it up only run for maybe 7 to 10 days, and then they run out if they're not refueled. So this is not an uncommon situation, but what winds up happening is now you basically had one municipality was without viable water, so now you have to go to the next city or next town, and now what you see is people going and buying the water bottles and the 5 gallons and whatnot. um, Add to that the imminent threat or the ever-present threat of people hacking water supplies, which we've already talked about, because they not only hacked another Texas town up in the Panhandle near Amarillo, but they flooded part of the city by screwing with the pump system until basically the water treatment plant overflowed. I don't know exactly the specifics, but it did flood a part of the city. And it was definitely attributed, at least by Homeland of Texas, not the feds, the Texas state guys, as a hacking attack. They hypothetically blame the Russians. Really, who the hell knows, right? Bottom line is these things happen. Even if there is no hacker, there's no EMP, there's no bad guy. Hurricanes, floods, tornadoes, blackouts, windstorms, hailstorms all could knock out power and cause this kind of issue. You need to keep in mind you're going to need water for multiple things. One, for consumption of the humans, right? Individuals. If you have animals, pets, they're going to need water too. If you have livestock, you have a different threat and a different issue. However, many livestock animals, such as cows, goats, etc., if you have well water, they can probably drink that well water for the most part unfiltered or minimally filtered. And you can set up those pumps on a solar system or a battery backup because they don't run continuously, right? It fills the pond for drinking or fills the cistern and then it shuts off. So this is more for people or residential home itself. You're going to need for consumption. You'll also need a quantity of water for cooking, right? Even if you have a bunch of these nifty ReadyWise and nutrient survival stuff, and August informs all the other stuff. And I love, ReadyWise and nutrient survival are great. They have different product mixes, but they're really good. You still need water for both to reconstitute them. You also need water for things like pasta and rice. So you have to factor in that kind of water. Then you need water for general purpose things such as uh, washing, brushing of teeth, taking a bath. Even though you may be using like a Kool-Aid container, fill it with water and pour it over yourself in soap and then rinse. You're going to need water for that as well. And lastly, you're also going to need water for hygiene because infections, other such illnesses can definitely give you a hard time, especially after a hurricane where the hospitals are full of injured and sick people. And now you've made yourself sick for lack of hygiene. So again, folks, keep these scenarios in mind. Now, I would recommend your takeaway from this video. Make sure you're signed up for public alerts in your community or in your municipality. Um, also, have a radio, AM or FM, that gets the local news. Typically, you won't hear about a water outage in Amarillo or in Odessa or in Lubbock or in Houston in Los Angeles, right? Nobody in LA really is worried about that. It's not their concern, but locally it's a concern, and normally it's broadcast on the local level. They're not going to alert us in Texas because upstate New York has a power outage. I mean, they may put it in the news, but it's like, yeah, we don't really care. It's not affecting us. We can't do anything about it anyway. But having the local notifications, most cities will offer city or municipal texts for emergencies. Also, make sure you have a radio. If you hear rumors from coworkers like I did, hey, they're having some kind of issue in the other town, you can at least turn on the radio and start checking in and see what you hear. Social media can be useful if you have community Facebook pages, community Twitter, or other groups. You can get some kind of news. And most importantly, make sure you have enough water storage. Now, remember, you can't always put it on ground level. You may have to think vertically, right? Space is a resource and it's a prep in and of itself. Making sure you have enough storage to go vertical if you can't go horizontal will help you a lot. Obviously, if you're in an apartment, you're a bit space constrained, so you're going to have to get creative with the water cubes and the water bobs that go in the tub and you fill it with 100 gallons. In any case, a reminder as we get into hurricane and storm season, that you guys make sure you have enough water so you don't have to go out and get involved in the panic when everyone else is buying. You can stay at home and kind of watch how things play out and decide what your next step is. Again, one of the biggest things about being prepared is being able to give yourself enough time to make a good decision and not have to make a decision on the fly that may result in a bad outcome. So, folks, I'm going to leave you with that one. Until next time, God bless, Godspeed, keep out of trouble out there, and I will see you on the next video. You guys take care.